Well, today's stock in the spotlight is Sunrun. This is America's largest provider of solar panels. Take a look at the stock. It's up 3%, 6% so far year to date. Let's bring in the CEO and director of Sunrun, Mary Powell, to talk about the business of turning sun into electricity for your homes and the green energy transition. Mary, thank you so much for being with us. A lot of people are wondering about policies, specifically within the Inflation Reduction Act in the United States, that could help catalyze the next leg of growth for Sunrun. Could you just help us understand how those two things go together?
Yes, wonderful. Good morning. It's so awesome to be speaking with you today and to be talking about a topic so near and dear to me, of course, which is the important role that solar can have in the energy transition. And so, yes, the Inflation Reduction Act was very, very powerful for the industry, really in the context of making solar even more affordable and accessible to all, which is something that is so important to Sunrun, as we were really the originator of making solar affordable and accessible to all through our financing mechanism for customers. So the Inflation Reduction Act is very, very powerful in that, in particularly for low and moderate income Americans, there will be a number of incentives rolling out to help them. There also are incentives, around electric vehicles and many other aspects of the energy transition that will fundamentally accelerate this consumer-led revolution to a more affordable and resilient way to power homes and ultimately to power the grid.
So when I look at your growth specifically over the past 2 years, it was very strong. And looking at forecasts by analysts, they're expecting that to moderate significantly, still grow, but a lot lower in terms of a percentage basis. Why is that, given the catalyst that you're talking about?
Well, again, it's important to remember, you're right. There is significant growth in this sector where we are collectively at about 4%. Penetration. There's like 78 million additional addressable homes in the United States for our products. So yes, growth is, it looks to be as far as the eye can see in the future. Relative to this year, a lot of what is impacting what folks are saying about growth is really relative to the change that's happening in California. So California made a significant policy change. California has always been the leader in solar adoption. And with this transition this year, I think there is fundamentally a belief that there will be an effect on the amount of installed capacity across the United States, largely driven by what's happening in California. Now, that said, as I described on our earnings call, we had a very strong January and have continued to see really strong interest across the country in our product. And again, we have a product that we're poised to sell into California, into the market this year. So, but I think that is fundamentally the biggest driver of what you're hearing and seeing relative to expectations this year.
You hinted that part of your strategy is to make solar panels accessible regardless of your income, particularly lower income. And part of how you've been able to do that is offer a financing structure through things like lease payments. Now, a lot of people have questioned how that works, or whether the economics start to get muddied in a rising interest rate environment. Your cost of capital goes up. The net present value of these leases goes down. How are you thinking about that as it relates to rates? And can you still offer this at an attractive rate if rates still go up a couple of basis points?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that's so important to remember relative to our customers that are going solar, it is so much about providing, really not just affordability, but stability. So, when you talk about rising rates, like, yes, interest rates are rising, but let's remember that's still against a backdrop of utility rates that have been rising, particularly the last couple of years, in the double digits. I mean, we still provide, a service, really. And how I think of the leasing model is clean energy as a subscription service, because you can really get all of this new technology in your home. You can get solar, you can get storage, you can even get, now a SPAN panel to help you really control your home energy use in a very sophisticated way. You can get an EV charger. You can really transform your home all in a way that, as I think about it, is clean energy as a subscription service. So it's, no money down. easy entry, low friction, relative to, again, how we compare. Most folks would be comparing on their EV to what they're paying at the pump, or, in relative to how they're powering their home, they're comparing it to what they're paying their utility. And in our largest markets, what you've seen in particular is just not just skyrocketing utility rate increases, but frankly, also really instability, because with additional climatic events, what you're seeing is over and over again, customers are being frightened by the high cost of the utility rates, as well as really the unreliable nature of it. So one of the things we're really thrilled about in California as we're going into this year is, really having it be the year of storage and really deploying a lot more storage with solar on homes.
And in terms of that, it's interesting that you compare it to utilities. And you know this, there's been some short sellers who have come out and have said that you're overly optimistic about how you look at this financing part of your business. You assume no credit losses. You assign kind of a lower percentage than they would given where interest rates are. What is your response to that? And is that, assumption on no credit losses based on what you've historically seen? Help me understand, where your assumptions are coming from.
Yeah, I mean, really, again, we have over 800,000 customers. We have these long-term relationships where, fundamentally, I really believe we're actually very conservative. As somebody who's been in the energy business for 20 plus years, who was the CEO of a utility for 12 plus years, I fundamentally look at all of our assumptions around our model as being, rather conservative. So, there'll always be folks with different perspectives and opinions. But again, Sunrun's very focused on crushing it on the fundamentals. We just announced a really strong quarter where we had, exceeded a little bit our growth, our installation growth for the year, and really significantly overperformed in the context of our net subscriber value that we produced, our per customer value. So, really we are very focused on crushing it on the fundamentals. We're growing. We have tremendous interest in what we can provide consumers. And it's just so ultimately more affordable, resilient, and reliable than what so many consumers are able to get right now from their utilities.
I'd love to get your perspective on the tensions between the U.S. and China and how that affects you from a manufacturing perspective, whether it's on inputs to make solar panels or the purchasing or manufacturing of them in China altogether. How does that affect your business, and does it affect where you think about, future manufacturing facilities?
Right. Well, Sunrun's always been a leader in making sure that we have the highest level of standards for all of our suppliers. And so we diversified a number of years ago. We currently have partners in Southeast Asia. We definitely have some relationships in the U.S. One of the things I'm excited about with the Inflation Reduction Act is we should see more U.S. supply coming into the market, and we're at the forefront of that, working very closely with those suppliers. Because again, as you know, we're not just the nation's leader. We have the most personal storage in homes over any other company in the United States. We're the leader on solar, but we're actually one of the top leaders in the country in terms of installed solar capacity. So that gives us a lot of opportunity as it relates to building new relationships and making sure that we have a diverse supply, that we meet the highest level of all standards that are out there. So I'm feeling, relative to any of these issues, I'm feeling very comfortable going into the next couple of years.